Off to a bad start. The gate was $12.43 million. It is the fourth highest gate in UFC history, second highest gate in MSG. UFC is now 1, 2, and 3 all time at Madison Square Garden. The Slava fight was the fight of the night. They both got $50,000. Diego got performance of the night. Andrade got performance of the night. Denis got performance of the night. Aspinall, performance of the night. Pereira, performance of the night. Everybody gets $50,000 tonight.
You just feeling generous tonight?
What's that?
You're just feeling generous to hand out all the extra?
Tell me everybody shouldn't get $50,000 tonight. Yeah. Tell me this show wasn't fucking awesome. Tell me we're not 1, 2, 3 all time in Madison Square Garden. Yeah. Everybody's getting paid tonight.
Awesome. Definitely a great event, as you said. Maybe a touch of controversy in the main event. Yuri, in his interview afterwards, said it was probably okay. I think I was out. But I guess, what's your thoughts? Maybe an early stoppage, or did you like it?
Well, if he says it's not, it's definitely not.
What do you think where Alex stands now, like all time? I mean, he's only 11 fights into his MMA career, but he's one of a handful of guys now that has 1 and 2 weight classes. Do you look at him as an all-time great already?
Incredible. I mean, I don't know about an all-time great, but, it's incredibly impressive what he has done in a short amount of time.
Yeah. He kind of mentioned the name Israel Adesanya again. Obviously, they have that history. You had Jamal Hill outside the cage. It wasn't real happy about that. I guess, what can you tell us about both those guys?
Jamal and Israel in his interview?
Yeah.
Yeah, Israel's a weight class below him now, but we've seen that. Yeah, Jamal Hill, when he's ready, is the fight that makes sense.
Do you have any idea how his recovery is going? Is he informed when he might be ready to fight?
Going good. Apparently, it's good. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't talk about this shit.
Yeah. Tom Aspinall, incredible. No controversy there whatsoever. I guess, man, what did you think about that? I think we all expected it to go quick.
Both those guys stepping up, taking it on short notice, and both big, heavy hitters. That could have gone either way, and Aspinall got it.
We see that guy, hailing from England, obviously. Do you immediately think we got to take his next fight? We got to do it in England, have a title fight over there, or do you think that?
Well, with a lot of these guys right now, you're looking at possible Spain, UK, France, all good stuff. All new territories or places we've haven't been in a while or haven't been, or it's all good stuff.
We saw Stipe tonight, and obviously we wanted to have Stipe and John. Is that still the fight to make, or do you feel like maybe Tom deserves to fight John or deserves to fight Stipe, or maybe that's a better fight?
No. You do those two.
Right.
Those two both deserve that fight. That's the fight they want. What I love is that John Jones, as soon as he heard that he was injured and he knew how bad it was, went right to L.A., got the surgery, and he's already in rehab. So physical therapy, I should say. He's in physical therapy. Yes. John Jones is in physical therapy already.
All right.
We're happy about it.
Thanks. And I guess so. Do you anticipate Tom defending the interim title because of how they'll have to wait for that fight to happen? Do you expect him to fight somebody else?
I don't know. We'll see how that plays out. We'll see what happens. Took this fight on short notice. Obviously, looked great. He's got plenty of money to chill out for a minute, and we'll see.
Nice. The last thing for me, I just want to ask you, 30th anniversary show. I know you're not always the sentimental type or, have time to even reflect, but I guess special moment in the company history. What does tonight mean for you? Yeah, I mean, when you look at it, it's our 30th. I was thinking about this earlier. The corruption that kept us out of New York City for so long, for us to come in here in just 7 years, and you think about this historic arena, this incredible city, and for us to be number 1, 2, and 3 all time on our 30th, and great card tonight, great fights, great crowd. You couldn't really button up a 30th anniversary any better than tonight.
Dana, to your right. I know you followed boxing for a long time, and Joe Louis, who won a title in this arena, was known for that 6-inch left hook that he had, short little. And I kind of thought of that when Alex landed that punch tonight, that little short hook on Yuri. It was like that kind of power is rare, and you don't see that very often. Do you think that that's what separates him kind of from the rest of the pack?
Yeah, and what's crazy too is the first leg kick hurt him. He knew it. he kept kicking that leg, and that leg was going to be a problem as the fight went on. And, you know, the kicking power, the punching power, he moves like a middleweight, you know, and it's pretty nasty.
And Yuri's kind of a tough guy to figure out with all this.
And he's tough. Durable, tough guy.
Right. And I guess, you know, what I'm impressed with Alex in that case is the fact that he's 7 fights in his UFC career, and what is it, 10 fights or 11 fights overall, and he's able to deal with those things. Yuri was switching stances a little bit early, and, you know, kind of the way he was moving. Does that impress you, the fact that how Alex has grown in this short period of time in MMA, and he's adapted, and it seems like he has a complete game already in just, you know, how many fights it is?
Yeah. I mean, I think that he and Israel Adesanya, if you look at them coming from, you know, one style and being able to make the transition and do as well as they've done here, it's very impressive.
And then the last question for me, you know, I asked Aspen all this before the fight. I said, hey, dude, you know, you saw what Volkanovski did and saw what Usman did, and they took the fights on short notice and they lost. Did it give you any pause? And he said, well, you can never win the title sitting on the couch. And I wonder what your thought is on that, because sometimes if guys aren't preparing, they don't give themselves the best chance to win, right? And the fact that, you know, Alex Volkanovski and Kamaru did what they did was commendable, but they also didn't give themselves the best chance to win. But you still believe in guys taking that opportunity, right, in doing what Tom did tonight.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, when you get to that level, I mean, you know, you're one of the, I mean, Volkanovski is pound for pound #1 guy in the world. You know, you definitely jump on those opportunities when you get them.
I guess the only thing I was saying, though, is if you're not training on a, like, I know all these guys work out, but on a regular basis, right?
His guys told me in the ring tonight that Aspinall was on vacation when he got the call. So, you know what I mean? This is a crazy business, and there's very small windows of opportunity. When big opportunities pop up, you have to take them in life, period, but especially in this business. You never know what's going to happen. You know, John Jones is getting ready to fight Stipe Miocic and tears the, you know, his pec off the bone, and you don't know what's going to happen. You never know. So when you get them and you're not hurt, yeah, you take them.
Dana, in the conversations you've had with John and Stipe, do you think that is a retirement fight for them both, or do you think they could be convinced to stick around and maybe fight Tom after?
So I had lunch the other day with Stipe, and, you know, Stipe is very focused. Listen, it's one of those fights you have the best heavyweight of all time versus the greatest martial artist of all time. That's the fight they want. It's the fight that makes sense. It's the fight that should happen. I asked Stipe that question. He says, I don't even know. All I care about right now is John Jones. It's the only thing I'm focused on. I want this fight really bad.
With Tom, right, it's not just the way, it's not that he's winning, it's the way he's winning and how quick he's winning. Do you think this guy could be the new generation of heavyweight that likes we haven't seen before and could even go on to be one of the best in that division? Yeah,
so obviously what we've seen of him is great, but I hear even better things about him. I mean, I hear in the gym this guy is an absolute beast. He kicks the shit out of everybody. And the people who surround him and know him well really believe in this guy. So obviously what he's shown us so far has been unbelievable. I can't wait to see what's next.
Now you got 2 champions from the UK. Is there a chance we get a pay-per-view back there next year?
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. We're going to be going all kinds of places next year. So, yeah, it's fun. I always talk about, you know, how do we beat this year? How do we beat this year? And it's just, you couldn't write a script better than reality. What really happens and how it plays out and where you end up, it's what's so fun about this business.
Yeah. Last one from me, you know, you #1, #2, #3 in Gates at MSG. I know you're not a guy who holds on to grudges very much, but it is the perfect way to say fuck you to those people who kept you out of New York.
Say that again?
Is this the perfect way to say fuck you to the people who kept you out of New York?
Yeah, well, believe me, the people who kept us out of New York went to fucking prison, so they're good. But yeah, the culinary union from Las Vegas, fuck you. Yeah.
Dan, the fun one here. I know you gave him a bonus, but what do you make of Benoit Saint-Denis as a talent? A lot of people online are already labeling him as one of the more violent fighters in the division, and he already wants his shot at the BMF title, and then he's already talking about fighting Islam so early into his career. So what do you make of him as a talent moving forward?
Yeah, I mean, obviously tonight was a big night for him. Looked great. He's one of the hottest prospects in Europe right now, period. So, yeah, we're excited.
Similar question about Diego Lopes. You gave him another bonus, but he seemed to get one of the bigger ovations even before this fight, even at ceremonials. He's already calling for main events in Mexico. So a similar question: where do you think you can take a fighter of his caliber? And it seems like he's already a budding star.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. He's fun. He's exciting. I like everything about this kid. The answer is yes. You could do a lot with him.
And the last one for me, Lupi Godinez became the first female UFC fighter to have 4 wins in 1 calendar year, and her first fight was in May, so 4 wins in like 7 months or something like that. She needs a month off. She seems a little bummed about it, but where do you see the future for her too?
She's bummed out about a month off. That's awesome. Listen, that those type of people are right up my alley. I love that stuff, and when you see fighters who have that mentality and that's how they are, it's like Hamzat when he burst onto the scene. People get who are real and who are real fighters. They love that shit. So, yeah, I love it.
And last one for me. Is there any location for the Ilya Topuria-Volkanovski fight? Ilya seemed to be hinting at possibly Los Angeles.
Not yet.
And I assume the same thing for the Sean O'Malley-Cheeto Vera fight. No location yet?
None.
Okay.
We would have announced if we did, but
hey, Dave, you're right here. I know you touched on it a little bit with Alex Pereira, but 7 fights in the UFC, 2 belts. No one had done it faster than 9 fights, which was Randy Couture, and then BJ Penn did it at 11. Just kind of the progress of this, like how remarkable is what he's done in this amount of time?
Yeah, no, it's unbelievable. Like I was saying earlier, he's him and Israel both coming from a one style. And then coming in here and accomplishing what they've accomplished. I mean, that stuff was happening like 20 years ago. Now to come in and do it at this day and age and this era is incredibly impressive.
Yeah, for sure. And I guess it was said on the broadcast that apparently Tom Aspinall told Laura Sanko that he strained a muscle in his back pretty much right after he accepted the fight and was barely able to train. Were you aware of that? And
No.
I guess how much more does that make?
Not
this
till
one
right
impressive?
this second. Yeah. Yeah, no, it's impressive. See, his guys didn't even tell me that in the octagon. They were telling me he was on vacation when he got the call for the fight, but they didn't say anything about him being injured.
Yeah, and you had quite the group with you, cage side for the main card, Donald Trump, Kid Rock, all those people. What was kind of just the vibe like? What were they saying with this remarkable main card that had 5 finishes?
All those guys are fight fans. Tucker Carlson's first time, and I always tell people that nobody walks into a UFC event live and then walks out and says, yeah, I don't ever want to see one of these again. And, he was just telling me when he was leaving, this is unbelievable. I loved it, and I definitely want to see more.
And you mentioned yesterday in your scrum that the Sphere, the show there, is a done deal, but you didn't really elaborate. Is there any more you can tell us on timeline? Is it still going to be Mexican Independence Day? Or
Mexican Independence Day. We are booked for the Sphere, and we are already working on the creative for the show.
Does it seem like it's going to be a challenge, or can you give us any insight?
It's going to be a massive challenge, and I love every minute of it. I can't wait to dive into this thing. We're reaching out as I get more of the pieces of the puzzle put together. I'll let you guys know as it comes along. But I'm super excited about this. I love challenges. Everybody keeps saying to me, I don't understand how you're going to put the octagon in there. I don't understand how you're going to do this. I don't understand how you're going to do that. I'm going to remember that I said this to you tonight. I'm going to put on the greatest live combat sports show anybody has ever seen.
Awesome. And just lastly for me, we were in Saudi Arabia a couple weeks ago. Conor McGregor was there, and he spoke to us for a little bit. He was pretty much begging, saying, like, just please give me my date. Please give me my date. The Schmo reported tonight that his sources are saying Chandler is happening at UFC 300 in April. Is there anything you can tell us about Conor?
What did the Schmo report?
He said that it's the Chandler fight is in the works for UFC 300 in April.
Got it.
Anything you can tell us?
Well, if the Schmo said it, it must be true.
Well, that's the only report out there. But have you talked with Conor? Like, he just seemed very keen to get a date as soon as possible.
He is definitely chomping at the bit to fight again. There is no date.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Hey, Dana, to your right in the back. We saw some great performances from the young fighters tonight, guys like Diego Lopez and Joshua Van. How quickly do you want to see these guys back in the octagon, and what impressed you about them?
Everything was impressive about them. I don't know how fast they'll be back. It's going to, there's a lot of different things that determine how soon somebody goes back and fights, but it's not anything that I'm even thinking about right now.
And then Dana, to your left over here. Could be a little premature, but 2024, any plans to come back to the Northeast? I know maybe March, Atlantic City is circulating. Wondering if you could confirm that.
We have been talking about Atlantic City, yeah. We have been talking about Atlantic City. We've been talking about Jersey. Yeah, we'll see.
Dana, to your right.
I don't even have the locations for the fights that I already have booked. We're still working on, so I'm not, you know what I mean?
Sorry, what do you see next for Jiří Procházka?
What do you see next for Jiří?
He just fought 25 minutes ago.
Okay.
Dana, please.
I have no plans for him right now. You know, he needs to go take some time off, relax, heal. His leg's busted up. And then we'll figure out what's next for him. He'll be back. He's a tough, durable guy, and, you know, we'll figure out what's next.
Thank you.
Dana, on your left. Hey, hello. We have a 22-year-old fighter in France called Baki. He's currently in 8-0. He's fighting next week for the welterweight belt at Ares Fighting. We also know he was Khamzat's sparring partner for his fight against Kamaru Usman. And what do you think of him? Do you have an eye on Baki, and are you open to his rival on UFC League?
What was the question?
Whoa.
It was about a fighter that's Khamzat's sparring partner.
Yeah.
I do not.
You do not know him?
No.
Oh, okay.
But if he wins, I probably will. And now you just told me about him, so I'll have to check him out.
Okay. Keep an eye on him.
Yeah.
Dana.
Cool. Yeah.
In the middle. Just wondering, now we've got 2 UFC champions from the UK, if you have changed your mind about potentially doing a UK stadium show?
Yeah, I mean, I could. I love the O2. But we'll see. We'll see how he progresses and what happens, and, you know, but it's pretty awesome to have a heavyweight champion from the UK, so.
And just another one, Deontay Wilder the other day said that he's interested in transitioning to MMA. Just wondering if that's something you're interested in, and if there's been any conversations between you and Wilder.
Deontay Wilder expressed interest in transitioning into MMA. Just your thoughts on that, and if you think that could potentially happen?
I like Deontay. We have a good relationship, and it's interesting, you know what I mean? You never see this shit happening. You never see the boxers going, oh, I want to come over there and fight in the UFC, so we'll see what happens.
Dana,
sorry, just one more from me. Yeah. I've seen a video of Stipe entering the arena. He seemed to have a bit of a limp. Is there any injury issues with him at the moment?
Stipe was limping?
Yeah.
I had lunch with him the other day. He didn't say anything about any injuries. So I don't know. Okay. Yeah, he didn't mention anything to me.
Dana, over here.
Yes, sir.
Congratulations on another great night in New York City. Yes, sir. Everybody was commenting about how respectful everybody was to each other. All the fighters respected each other. You know, the temperature was very, very low for this fight card.
We were talking about that, too.
Yeah, and it was built on great fighters and just talented fighters and the best in the world. Like, the people that are complaining about it, do the tastes of the MMA fan need to change, or do the fighters need to change where, you know, they, need to do better promoting? But, like, at the same time, like, how'd you feel about that, or what were your thoughts about it?
You talked a little fast for me at the end. Were you saying, how do I feel about the respect that was shown between everybody?
Correct.
We loved it. I mean, I was talking about Aspinall and Sergey. I mean, their exchange when they were being read the rules, their exchange after the fight, everybody was super respectful. This is one of those fights where you don't need a ton of shit talk. Everybody knew. People who were in the know, when the Jones fight fell out, people that know the sport knew that fight was a real fight and was going to be good. And everybody was respectful. It's actually kind of cool when that happens, and it makes the stare downs much easier on me.
And we also saw you dipping your toes in boxing. Are we going to see more pay-per-views in boxing, more things on UFC Fight Pass? What's the current plans for boxing?
Well, I mean, right now I like Tom Loeffler. I like his show. I like his matchmaking. HBO's out, Showtime's out, and I'm going to use UFC Fight Pass to sort of be, I'm going to be the network. That's what I'm going to be.
And the production was very, very fast-paced. There was fights after fights. Like, obviously with the last 2 boxing fights, Nike will take his boxing to go to sleep at night. It was talking for 2 hours, and then the
fucking brutal. Brutal. Try to sit through a live boxing show. Try and do it. Show up to the first fight and try and do it. Yes, if you notice, the pace of the show moves fast. The matchmaking is real. Even Callum Walsh, who Freddie Roach believes in a lot and is a prospect right now, they threw him in there with a real fight. This kid was 13-1, 9 knockouts, turned it into a street fight at the end, and these are the kind of fights that you'll see in that promotion, and that's what I love about it. I love the pace, matchmaking, and everything else about it. He's got a lot of good up-and-coming talent. The other thing you don't see a lot, you always get this in the boxing world, you get the big fish in a small pond type stuff. They never go outside there. You got East Coast versus West Coast. That's the type of stuff you're going to see on Fight Pass with 360 Promotions and Tom Loeffler.
Awesome. And one more question for me. And we saw you sitting next to Triple H. How's the relationship been with TKO, and how's been working with Vince McMahon and Triple H? Maybe some cross-pollination like Pride did with New Japan Pro Wrestling?
No. Listen, if there's something there, like Ronda going over there, like Brock coming over here, if that, whether we were with them or not, if that was the case, we would do that stuff. But the relationship has been incredible. Vince has been an amazing partner. I always like Triple H and Stephanie. So we're having a good time with those guys.
So you're saying that there's not going to be a Battle of the Billionaires 2 between Dana White and Vince McMahon? Is that correct?
What's that?
There's not going to be a Battle of the Billionaires 2 between Dana White and Vince McMahon at WrestleMania.
It's all over. We're buddies now. Now we're friends.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Dana, down here to your right.
Yep.
In the 12 years since John Jones claimed the light heavyweight title, you've seen many a prospect who's been touted as the potential man to beat him. Now, I know there's still a lot that has to happen in terms of John and Stipe, but if John does stick around after that, how do you rate Tom Aspinall's chances of beating him in comparison to the other fighters of previous times?
Well, let's see how John heals. Let's see how he looks when he comes back from this injury. Obviously, he's going to fight Stipe. Let's see how that goes. And then, John Jones is so good. I mean, you can doubt him. You can this, you can that. You not like him. The guy's never lost a fight. Moved up to heavyweight, made it look really easy. I don't know the answer to that. You got to see how everything sort of plays out.
And how big do you think it is now? We've obviously previously had two UK champions in Leon Edwards and Michael Bisping. How big is it having a heavyweight champion? I know it's interim, but still.
No, it's huge. I mean, listen, whenever you get a heavyweight champion from anywhere, you know what I mean, outside the country, it's a big deal. And to have a heavyweight champion in the UK who is a bad dude and legit, and everybody around him claims that he's that good, and he's a great guy, great personality. It's a home run.
Cheers, thank you.
Thank you.
Dana, right down the middle
Dana,
here.
over here. Tom was talking to us earlier this week about the heavyweight division. He sees kind of a golden age coming, a new golden age for heavyweight MMA. More athletic guys that can do a lot more. They're not kind of plotting and maybe like the way maybe we saw in different generations before. What's your take on his thoughts on that?
I don't understand the question.
What do you see as far as the heavyweight division right now? Like in the future, like in the next 5 to 10 years kind of thing. Do you see different heavyweights now than maybe we saw in past generations?
Well, you're gonna. Yeah, I mean, if that's not the case, we're in trouble. The sport keeps evolving, the athletes keep evolving, and Aspinall is amazing. He looked great. He's got a chin too. He ate a couple shots tonight, and and like I was just saying with this gentleman over here, we have a heavyweight champion from the UK, so it's awesome.
Now, do you really want to keep him on the shelf for as much as maybe a year for Jones and Miocic to kind of sort things out, or are you gonna maybe have to start considering other options in the interim?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what we're going to do yet. I talked about that earlier. We'll see what happens. You know what I mean? Like I said, he's got some money, and I don't know. I don't know the answer to that question yet.
You guys love to come to the Garden. Obviously, November is your time of the year. Have you guys ever considered, or are you considering maybe 2 times in the coming years at all?
Yeah. The thing is, too, when you come to the Garden, you want to bring your A game. You want to bring the right fight. We'll probably be back the end of next year, and we'll be 1, 2, 3, and 4.
And you guys have, obviously, you've got a relationship now with James Dolan because you.
Over the next 3 years, we'll end up being in the top 10.
You've got this relationship now with James Dolan. You've been working with him for many years here. He's got the Sphere, of course. You guys have that going on now, too. Is that something you guys have ever talked about? Is there more interest on their end to get more?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
100%. They'd have us here every weekend if we could. And, yes, I have a great relationship with Dolan, and, I've been terrorizing him about the Sphere, and we got it done, so I'm excited.
Dana, right down the middle here. Nate Diaz was